Brexit talks include hit a actual issue above the question of the Irish boundary, by the government source include alerted. Front of a key summit conference, the EU is believed to be searching future reassurances to hinder a as-called difficult boundary comprising natural checks. Hopes of a breakout were grown while the Brexit Secretariat done an unplanned travel to Brussels on Saturday. But negotiations faltered above the requirement for a behind-up schedule, named as the supporting, to escape a difficult boundary. UK Main Secretary Theresa May, who will do a declaration after two MPs, has insisted any supporting location should use to the UK as a entire to escape creation a new boundary in the Irish Ocean. But Saturday's negotiations had break downward following the EU had insisted on a other supporting location, fair comprising Northern Ireland, if the UK's release wasn't prepared in period, Downing Road source specified. Source say EU offered supporting to the supporting decision is a actual issue. Ireland's Overseas Secretary, Simon Coveney, offered a transactions would not be made at the one-week summit conference, that starts on environment. Mr. Coveney told he was disappointed and frustrated how it was departure to get more than period rather than human beings had hoped. Scotland's at First Secretary Nicola Beluga, meantime, has set out her option Brexit plans, proverb it is period to trade off. The UK is outgoing the EU in March 2019, in its solitary marketplace and customs officer association, that enable for dispute-free trading among members. Following Brexit, it will include a earth boundary in the EU among Northern Ireland and the Republic. Both of the UK and the EU wish to escape a difficult boundary, natural checks or infrastructure facilities among Northern Ireland and Ireland, but cannot accept how. So, the supporting is a stance of recent refuge, to defend an outdoor boundary on the Isle of Ireland in the occasion how the UK foliage the EU out of possessing coordinated a decision as portion of trading talks. The two sides do not accept on which the security net should see love, yet. The EU has offered Northern Ireland corset verified in its trading rules so new boundary checks are not necessary. But Mrs. May has told the would erode the consistency of the UK by creation a new boundary in the Irish Ocean. She has offered the UK as a entire could stay verified in the EU Customs Officer Association for a bounded period following 2020, while the planned transfer time ends. But the EU says a supporting would not job if it is period limited. Several Tory Brexiters say the supporting is not required at all since technology solutions can escape a difficult boundary. Question, the Irish boundary Brexit supporting several Brexiters are unfortunate at the concept of the UK stay verified to EU rules out of a period range creature indicated. At the weekend, ex-Brexit Secretariat David Davis forced ministers to affect their joint credibility and insurgent versus the plans. Brexit MPs hard to convince office ministers to strength PM to trench checkers at next day's meet, severe warnings flyer about on which happens if she doesn't. I'm not certainly how we halt havoc if she doesn't shift, says one but World Growth Secretariat Penny Mordaunt told she wasn't departure to abandon above the main secretary's Brexit schedule. Everyone as necessary to tranquility downward. We're incoming the definitive stages of these talks and we're all over the PM hard to get the top outcome, she added. Inbound at an EU meet in Luxembourg, Overseas Secretariat Jeremy Search told the Brexit negotiations had introduced a hard time, addition, if a transactions is made the 1 week or not who knows. He insisted it was probable to do a transactions and in goodwill on all sides we can get down there. Happy modernize yours web browser but his forerunner, Boris Johnson, told the supporting schedule should be utilized generally. Proverb the EU was hard to changing the UK's constitution institutional arrangement and treat us in bare disdain. Labour, meantime, has named on the by the government to issue its schedule for the supporting. Dark Brexit Secretariat Sir Keir Starmer told any suggestion necessary complete study of MPs up and treaty could be affected in the otherwise of the EU at the Brussels Summit Conference. A Quantity 10 resource told the main secretary had done certainly Parliament was routinely enhanced on the negotiations.